to another My Little Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Bree. I'm here with my brother Bryson.
Hello.
My father Gary.
Hello.
And my mother Shelly. Hi. Woo! So we had a really fun week. We got out there and finished that wall, which was super exciting. This is for our outdoor. That was the bathroom, or not bathroom, but the bath side.
The bathtub.
The bathtub side.
Yeah, tub side.
Of our
the tub
Earthbag
side.
shower.
I like that.
It's a tub side.
The tub and the shower side.
It's where you take a tub. Oh no, you take a bath. In the tub.
Yes, so we finished the Earthbag-ish part of that particular side, so that was pretty exciting. And I recall that you brought up that it's kind of fun that we did this in segments so that we could have little completion things that would happen as we go. So
She likes completion.
yes.
Unlike me. Let's just get it started. Somebody else will finish it.
Then Garen and Ellie, they got what did they
They did plumbing underneath, faucets.
I only spent 20 hours editing it. I'm not sure what's in it.
Plumbing and all that kind of good stuff.
Though, it's so true, though. It does happen.
Well, they kind of run together a little bit, yeah.
I'm only now realizing that I've never seen their parts from start to finish because we had to go. Yeah. So I didn't do a last run through, but I did put the music in, but I'm not sitting there watching it.
Did you not see Azalea at the very end in the box?
I saw that.
I don't think I did.
But only because I edited that part.
I just missed out heavy this week.
Garen and Ellie give us, they give us their show. Mm-hmm. And then I just happened to look back through some of their, just their little scratch tracks up there, whatever. Yes. And I see her in the box. And it's not in the show. And I'm going, oh my God. And I was too late to put it integrated in the show, but I thought, okay, we're putting that in. So that was at the very end. Because it's so cute, playing peekaboo in the box.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So don't I feel sheepish. I didn't quite get to see all of it. I put in the music. Usually we do like a final run through at the end, and that's where I end up seeing everything all put together from start to finish. But we went to town this week and to pick up some stuff, at the store, and we had a food and animal food and stuff. But so I missed it. Now I got to go back and see it. But anyway, let me know how it was. No, okay. So I thought before we got into questions or comments and stuff about the show itself, we'd start out here with Ask Uncle Mason. He asks, "What is the best-selling design that you have done?" And
in the merch store?
Oh yeah, for the merch stuff.
Yeah.
And
all I gotta say is hopefully it's Get Her Done. Because it's the best that we've done.
You mean Skitter?
That doesn't even crack the first page, unfortunately.
It doesn't even crack the first page. This is my favorite.
Our best-selling one is the hummingbird design that we do.
Oh, right there. That
design there. That's our bestseller.
Oh.
So for the longest time, it was the Turtley Awesome one.
Yes.
But the hummingbird did recently overtake it. Oh. So I think that's one of my... That one's kind of because it's kind of special to our family, so that's one of the designs cool. I like too.
I think we should petition for more manly designs.
Well, you got Skitter Done.
There are quite a few.
You got Skitter Done. You got You Rock.
I think we need some with guns in it. And,
Well, you got one that's the animal.
Would be nice.
Yeah, with this cute little pig on here. I mean, with.
More. Got Moosel through.
With barbed wire designs and stuff on it.
I remember that.
Maybe it was like actual muscle.
Little rips.
Six-pack, yeah. Six-pack, little patch of hair right here.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it in the Crudes? He took off his jacket. They're like, oh, you can take off your jacket. It's like, it is off. It wasn't because he had so much hair.
He's like, it is off.
What do you mean it is off? And they look over at the rack and there's a whole set of hair and he has a whole set of hair.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Julie Locke says, on the outdoor floor, it crossed my mind, what in the world are you guys planning? Does the indoor cob floors have cob with weather or concrete? So what are we going to do for those floors in our outdoor shower bathtub area? Great question.
We are actually going to do, we're just going to do a concrete floor. Only because it will hold up really well outside. It's been around for a while. I guess you can't reinvent the wheel like sometimes. But I was thinking about this just the other day, interestingly enough, is because it's already framed for us to lay concrete. Other than we'll just have to put a 2x4, 2x6 in the front, right? And we could just pour the concrete. can't we?
Yeah, we'll probably have to think about drains, and because it could become a big pool.
Yeah, well,
So we'll have
that's
to
true.
figure out
But
some
you know what I
drains
mean?
or
It's all
something. Yeah.
framed already for
Yeah.
us around the outside, so that
Yeah.
I'll make it nicer to do. But and the only thing is that I like that really smooth. But you mentioned that we got to be careful because we don't want to be slipping with the water and stuff. So we'll have to.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't know.
Slip.
You'll figure out something because you're so smart.
Yeah, little spikes so we can walk on them, not non-skid.
Yeah, so we can toughen our feet up.
Glass. We'll just embed glass.
Yeah.
So you don't slip. Anyway, yeah.
Well, I shredded my feet, but I did not slip.
No slippage. Of course, I need a doctor now.
Do
I
afraid to
need
slip.
stitches.
You're going to have to guard me around in this wheelchair because I cannot walk, but I did not slip.
No slipping. Just think if I had fallen.
Yes, I'm about to be in crutches. No.
Actually, on that thought, actually, what we could do is mix in some sand.
We don't
with
have any
like
sand.
an epoxy on top, or like that stuff we put on Chase roof, where we have the sand mixed in
Snow
with
roof?
the snow roof with the sand.
Be
That
nice.
You
creates
just got to
rough.
think that you're gonna walk
They
on
make-
that barefoot.
They make
So
non-skid stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll-
you don't make it rough. You pick a
just
sand
even this kind of a surface is non-skid enough.
okay.
Okay,
Just
and
a
this
little
I
bit.
like walking
Just
on
not
this.
the
That
real
is.
smooth stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, what else
Not
you got?
overly
Bree?
smooth. Okay, so Navasi asks, how long has Mom been saving the jars and bottles?
Forever.
years.
Wow.
We've been married 28 years.
I don't know. It's been a long time. Yeah, and I have to say, sometimes when I saved them, we had delabeled them, and then I took plastic, shopping bags, that you get those little plastic things, and I wrapped them in those, and that was the best way to save them because when I pulled them out, they were beautiful. But if I didn't do that, they had to be cleaned up again and delabeled. And so, I mean, on a side note, that's a good way to save them if you're going to save them. But yeah, it's been years. I'm not really sure, and Gary mentioned to me the other day because we were cleaning up the hoop barn and getting prepped for that job, and he's like, "Shelly, can I get rid of some of these bottles?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not ready to use them." And they go. You need a ton of them, but at one time I was saving them and. All friends of mine were bringing them over. I had so many bottles. I ended up just taking them all to the recycle because they got to be. So I don't ever ask anymore.
a
You
tsunami
would be
of
amazed how many bottles you go through.
Yeah.
Because there could be ketchup jars or like relish
Salsa.
it's amazing just in a family of just the four of us now how quickly we go through a lot of bottles, spices, whatever. So anyway, add up fast, but I would say years. I just don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, maybe even longer. I remember the first batch of bottles. They were out there by the pump house.
Those are the ones I got rid of.
Yeah, and there was a tsunami over there. Like
Yeah.
at one point, and
It's
I
too much.
remember you were so sad giving them away, but there's just too many of them.
And we weren't ready for a bottle project
no.
yet. So.
I mean, look at it was maybe 10 years later we were gonna actually do a bottle project. So
Yeah.
it ended up. Yeah.
And I'm hoping to have enough because, when we build that wall, it's going to be those blue bottles are going to go up about the size of whatever we think a river's going to be, and then we're going to start doing. We'll have a combination of bags and some brown ones, for some mountains. We're going to have green ones for the frog to sit on, a little
the
lily
lily
pad
pad.
type idea, and there was one more color too, yellow. We're going to go for the sunset, so it's going to be very bottly. I'm looking forward to it.
I just had a thought about that on bottles and the walls and stuff. Could we make a bridge? Like if you had like a little tiny creek or something, you make a bridge over the top and you face the bottles where the bottoms are up and you do a bunch of them and you do concrete and you like reverse it with like rebar in between or something stronger. And then you have bottles.
That's a really cute idea.
Because then when you walk over it, you have
Could you
like, it's
draw?
almost
Could you
see-through.
draw that out for me? We might be able
Wouldn't
to
that be neat?
incorporate a little bridge over the. Could
That
you
would
draw
be
that
so
out?
neat.
Like what you think we could
Wouldn't
do?
that be
'Cause-
neat?
Yeah, that'd be cute.
And then when you're walking over, you almost could see down. It's clear, down
Yeah,
almost.
and we could put something on that bridge. Anyways,
That'd be cool.
I'll-
Sorry, that's a side note.
I like that.
It's gonna be a lot of fun for sure.
You can do so many things with bottles. It's
All
crazy.
right, so we had the beginnings of a UFO sighting at the end
We
of our.
did?
We did. We had a UFO sighting.
Oh,
Really?
I didn't know it.
I know, and it got pointed out, and I was like, "Whoa, it really could be."
Wait, we did? This is something I'd be interested
UFO
in.
sighting?
No, Cherry Franks says, "Question, please. At the very end of this video, there is a blue orb. What is it? It is at 1750. It's this shot. We're going up into the sun, and the reflection of the sun, there's like a green orb. That's it's a lens flare, but it goes up there, and it looks really UFO-y. And I'm not saying, Jerry, that you were saying that, but it could be. You know what I mean?
Actually, it was just some relatives I had visiting. They just took off.
But it was just lens flare.
They live in Area 51. It's fine.
Yeah. We get those all the time.
No wonder we don't tell what our location is.
I heard one time they were talking about UFOs, and somebody said there are no UFOs because they're all identified.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to figure out. There's a lot of great ones here this week. Amelia Caruso asks, what kind of pig breed do you have there? And he's a mix. And I was trying to remember this morning what he's a mix of. And I think it's that Giuliani pig, the little mini Giuliana pigs. And then I think the other one is Potbelly, actually. Because I was thinking, so he's a mix, but he was the runt of the litter, so he was like small on top of small, and so's my dog, also the runt of the litter. I get the runts.
You feel sorry for the small.
I know. What is it? The Charlotte's Web. That's why I feel. I grew up with that story. So
you're not the runt of the litter.
No, I just mean
Aren't
the
you 6
animals
feet
that
tall?
I collect.
No, but it's interesting that.
Oh, I'm not. Oh,
yeah.
Aren't you 6 feet tall?
6 feet. No.
He is over 6.
I don't know.
Exactly, actually.
Taller than I am.
Shay used to be the runt of the litter, but
I don't know what she's standing.
I think Mom means short when she says that.
Yes.
Isn't that what a runt is? A short one?
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh, is
I
that
always
what
thought
a
it was
runt
like
is?
preemie.
No,
like the premature.
It's the shortest, smallest. Runt can sometimes mean non.
Oh yeah, Shay. I can't be the runt because I'm not the litter. Shay is the runt of the litter.
She's the end.
Just don't tell her
She's
that.
the shortest. She actually, as we grow here, the women in this family, it seems like you get up to a certain height, and then at 17 you have like a growth spurt,
Which is
18.
unusual for women, but
Very
yes.
unusual. And we grow another 2 or 3 inches. I feel like it happens. So I shot up during that period of time, and so did Shay. She used to be like really. Now I feel like she competes with my height.
Yeah, she
She's
might be
getting-
5'8". She's getting up there.
She's getting up there. So she had an extra boost. God
all
was like,
fine and-
we're going to give you just a little bit more.
Here's a little extra.
It's all fine and dandy until you start smacking your head into things because you're too tall.
Wait a minute, I don't think that's a problem.
Oh, it's the body in the car. Gary has a long body, and he constantly smacks his head getting in and out of the car.
I actually have no
feel so
vision
bad.
above this
he
area
always
right
has
here,
bumps
so
on his head from. He's like, oh, I did it again, Shelly. You think? Oh, I won't say that.
It's like, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding?
He's always bleeding. You're always bleeding from your head.
I know. It used to be like he would walk in and there's blood everywhere, and we'd be like, "Oh my gosh, Dad!" And now we're just like, "The sink's over there."
You would think it would just be the
Just
height.
grab your finger. We'll run to the hospital and get it.
Is
sewed
it
back
bad?
on.
No. Okay.
You would think it would be the height, but no. He was out staking a T-post. This was a scary one, and it caught the T-post thing caught on one of those, those
caught on the
lumps.
very top. I was too high.
Caught on the very top,
Yeah.
and it came.
I pulled
came
it
down.
right down on my head.
Oh man,
That took me to my knees.
That was so
that was scary.
Okay, moving on.
Sorry,
move on.
but I don't know why.
I don't want to think about that one.
still have a little cleavage right here. If it hit me in the head, it's a bump, a little valley.
I have a little height story before we move on
Height
to
story?
tell.
I do.
I've never considered myself very tall. I don't think of myself as a tall person. And our friend Adelie, though, she took her a couple months to convince me that I really was a tall person. And so I've had to rethink how I relate to the world around me.
Oh,
A little bit. Because I actually am a tall person. I didn't know this. But what
Isn't
really
she
convinced
5'2"?
me... Her?
She's 5'2", right?
No, she's 5'7".
5'1",
5'7".
5'7", 5'7". Okay, good.
What she thinks is tall. But anyway,
Sorry, Adelaide.
but what convinced me was, did you know that the average height, and I don't know, because this probably is different depending on where you are in the world, the average height is like 5'3" for a woman.
What?
I know. And every time I hear that, I'm like, whoa, really?
Natalie's tall.
5'7". I thought 5'7" was average.
No, I think, well, the chart that she pulled up was 5'3".
Okay.
And
Maybe worldwide, too.
maybe it's worldwide.
Nice.
I don't know where. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm a lot taller than 5'3", you know. Then I was like, oh, okay. But anyway, she always laughs at me because it took her so long to convince me that I was tall. And then I was realizing the other day, I would constantly, growing up, people would ask me if I could reach up to get something. Like, you know, the comedians are like, this is my shelf, you know, it's the top shelf. That's on my shelf. Anyway, so took me a little bit to learn that I was tall.
So you always do when you're at a party, because most of the time, you know, you don't know where to set your water, but you just pick a really high place and just slip it up there, and you know.
Oh, Bryson.
There's only very few people who can get it less chance of.
Good thinking. Ooh, I didn't realize
always
that. I
know
didn't
where it's at.
realize the setting down glass strategy that Bryson was
Yeah, you
working
just sneak
on.
it up really high. And then when they're cleaning
Wait
later,
a minute,
they find it. And they
like I
laugh.
want to drink out of your glass, though. I mean, that would not be a good thing. So.
Just for safety measures, you just go.
Yeah. You always know where it's at.
Okay.
And then you wonder where it's at.
What's the next one?
This is a question now for
Question.
Bryson.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I'm ready.
Denna Redford asks, do you have date trees?
Date palm trees?
Yeah, date palms.
No,
probably.
are you going on a date
Okay,
with a
when
tree?
I first read that,
No.
I read, do you have a date with trees? When I first read it, and I was like, do I have a date with trees? And I had to read it like 3 times. Like, oh, do you have date trees? I got it.
Well, we are in the process of growing them, yes. I have a couple. One is, it came out, and then I don't know what happened, but it decided it thought the sun was that way or something. I don't know, and it's like long ways,
Sideways.
but it's there. So I figured when it grows enough, I'll just flip it up. But we'll see. But the other one is perfect. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
it's
nice.
about a foot tall.
I think
so.
you picked those up at the date farm, didn't you? When we
those
went
are-
to when we visited.
Now the ones that those I haven't got any of those to pop up.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough, I don't know why.
So these
Maybe
are
they're a
ones you
hardier
ordered?
breed. Maybe they're harder to. The harder the seed is to get to grow, when it does grow, it doesn't die very easily, in my experience.
I would
So,
love to have date trees.
But
that'd
okay,
be
so
wonderful.
I learned about them too. So they're really hard to kill. You need to be like months and months of frozen ground to kill them. Like
Oh,
they're really
good.
tough that way, and they're like a cactus. You don't think of them being a cactus, but they are. They have a little underneath them. They have like this bulb. Like a bulb, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
okay.
hold water.
It's a root ball.
And like they say, you only have to water them once a week, usually. So they're
that's
they're
good.
just perfect, but they take like 10 years to grow. I mean, they're
That's okay.
slow.
We got time.
But we got time.
Yep.
We got time.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have some footage of it as well if you're on YouTube, so you can kind of see
10
what they
years
look
worth
like.
of growth.
The sprouts. Well, yeah, where they are now. I mean,
Look, it's been 5 years.
I know. I've been waiting. Like, you stare at the same leaves for so long. You're like, when is a new one going to come up? Like, what's the deal?
Well, this has been, would you say, like 6 months of growth that you have?
Yeah, probably
there?
just
Okay,
about. Yeah. And then, yeah. And I'm planning to grow more too. I tried to grow more, but some reason I'm unable to get them to pop up. And I'm thinking maybe it's just that temperature.
They'll
Maybe.
come up
I
in
have them by
spring.
the window, so I'm thinking it's cooler by the window. So they're just like, no way am I coming up. So
Too cold.
I'll wait. Too cold. So
right on. Okay, this is actually a question maybe for Bryson too, but I thought it'd be a fun way to end our little podcast here.
Okay.
Because it's a future.
In the
Futuristic.
future.
dun, dun, dun.
So, Denscaff82
UFOs.
asks, still waiting for a swimming pool build though?
Oh, swimming pool.
You do not want
Yeah.
to know what we've been dreaming.
You know those little round pools, plastic about this deep. That's
We've
what we're
decided that since there's no water around us, we'll just bring the water to us.
Yep.
Rivers and all.
We actually, years ago, we started to dig out an area that we wanted to do as a pond, and we actually had a liner for it and everything. It's still sitting out there covered.
Yeah, it is.
That is for a future pond, but we kind of decided maybe that wasn't the best thing to do out here in the desert. But we're rethinking that now. And Bryson, with the skid steer that could
It's actually plausible to dig something like
just
that now.
like at a, because like
Yeah.
a skid steer, you can go down like that slowly.
'cause
it's not like a,
Because like the because the thing is, if we do a pond of some kind, we'll have to use some sort of sealant like a bentonite. Some people use bentonite clay.
We have that
for the bottom.
liner though, too.
We
or
do have
liner.
the liner, but we'll also have to. In some areas, have to have in order for that to work, you have to have a slant that goes down. It can't just be a drop off into a pond area.
Yeah. So we have it. We want to do an outdoor swimming pool, basically, not an outdoor natural swimming pool. If you've seen those in the past, I fell in love with those years ago, and that we eventually that's. I mean, that'd be in the future, obviously, but we want to do an outdoor swimming pool, and then. We're going to be putting that grotto and changing around Bryson's whole area of his aquaponics and making it look more of like a natural grotto and stream and this kind of thing. So, tell him what we are thinking about between the grotto and the pool.
Okay,
Piranha.
so piranha pond.
Piranha.
Who knew you could eat piranhas? No, I'm just kidding. Can you? I don't know if you can or not, but so here's the thing. In order to have such a body of water and we want to keep it clear and stuff, we need a really good filtration system. So I know, like, naturally the rivers kind of act as a filtration system, right? You have rivers typically act like, that's why waters in rivers often are clear, because they're constantly getting filtered through the rocks, flowing, moving. So what we're thinking is we're going to attach the grotto, which is way over here on this end of our property, to the pond, which is over there. And in between them, we're going to have this creek that goes through the whole backyard and up
so cool.
to
Little bridges.
would just be so cool.
We're probably really, I don't know. But
I can just see the dogs. Woo-hoo! There's a big woo, woo.
I mean, yeah.
Mosquitoes this big.
And I can see, I mean...
Hey, here goes another mosquito.
Remember that one place we visited? We were all sitting in the car, and around the windows, there was just all kinds of mosquitoes just swarming the windows. They were staring, wondering if we should...
in their hands.
They were like, oh my gosh.
Stick your arm out and you pull it back. Just one big solid mosquito bite.
It's going to be an engineering feat to make that happen, but I think it's possible.
I think it's I think we could do
And
it.
don't
You know what?
worry, you're
If
getting your
it
shot.
dries up, it'll look like everything else around here called the river. So
Oh yeah, we call them.
yeah, you look
know,
on the map,
river,
it
and
says
you're
river.
like-
River where?
I know. It's like
This is just a
moving from
big
the
ditch,
Pacific
boys.
Northwest.
Yeah.
We come from the Pacific Northwest, and it talks about
It
rivers.
says river. There's water in
Nothing
rivers.
there. There's a thing in there.
No, it's a river. No, it's
But
not.
I want to tell you that your shop is
Yes.
next. We're going to
Yes,
do your
the shop
shop.
is next.
This is nothing's
The-
going to be in the
we
way
need-
of your shop.
The thing is, we need dirt. I don't know if anyone's seen our reserve of dirt, but it is
Yeah.
shrinking wildly.
We used it
So,
for the tube.
the tube,
The tubes.
the sewer
The
tube,
tube and the sewer.
Yeah.
the sewer tub.
Yes.
So this will
is.
get us some dirt. That's right.
Yeah,
so
so
we
this
can
will get
start
us some
kind of
dirt.
cutting that
And
out.
so, like, I'm not.
It already is kind of cut
It
out.
is pretty much cut out. Like, and you're not really supposed to dig with a scoop, I don't think. But it does work, and at an angle, like you can do
Yeah,
it.
since it's going to
So-
be that.
Well, we already have a little bit of one kind of already started, right?
Yeah, that we started a while ago with the
so
small
it
scoop.
would just
so.
be cleaning that out for the most part, really.
I
It's a
wonder what we're
snail.
working on today. No, I mean, I'm showing my fingers.
Yeah. Oh,
I wonder what we're working on today.
Blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is quite the mystery.
Blue paint.
I know Bryson actually found me some gloves for next time, so
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
those are
I'm
good.
moving up in the world.
I know.
what an invention. Gloves.
Who knew?
Adam used gloves. What's the problem here?
I feel like we've just recently started to use gloves more because I feel like we're just like, nah, my hands are fine, and then gloves are
Yeah.
amazing.
Until you get that piece of resin on your hands, and that just never seems to come off, even when you wash your hands.
That sold
We've
me.
seen comments for years. Why aren't you using gloves? Why aren't you wearing gloves? So finally we're like, hey, we should use gloves.
Guys, we should use gloves.
You know, we should use.
It's like it's a new invention. Never heard of those before. Look at
You know,
that.
when I use my gloves, my hands don't get as bad. You have that way too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow.
You know what? We should use gloves.
Yeah. It was the same, I think, with our shoes. Oh, you guys should really wear tennis shoes. You know, they're always trying to get us to wear tennis shoes, and now we're like, you know, we really should use tennis shoes.
Nobody wants to lose a toe.
Anyway, well, we really appreciate you being a part of our family,
we do.
part of the conversation, and we look forward to hanging out with you on Friday for the weekly peek. Bye.
Bye.